How do I pick a career? If you're feeling stuck when it comes to working out what you want your career journey to look like, then this is the video for you, because I am going to go through more than 5 resources which will be brilliant to help you kickstart your career journey. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. I am Gina Visram, a qualified careers guidance professional working as a career coach, a head of careers, a careers content creator, and I have really enjoyed being featured on platforms such as these when it comes to talking about career development. How do I pick a career? It sounds simple and complicated at the same time, doesn't it? As if you can just sort of cherry pick something out of thin air. But I would imagine that if you are somebody who has lots of different ideas about what you might want to do in the future, or who has none, whichever side of that spectrum that you're on, I imagine that the simplicity of that question can feel overwhelming. And so what I wanted to do in this video is speak directly to you, and or if you are watching this as a parent or a careers leader or somebody else who is supporting teens and students, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to have a look at a few platforms which are really, really useful for careers exploration. Now, it all starts with careers curiosity. So if you are ready to commit to actively thinking about what might be of interest to you, then these are some great platforms where you can start that journey. Now, before we get going, I want to make a really obvious point. What I'm about to share with you relates to some really great online resources, including virtual work experience, and also platforms which can help to connect you with Insight days. This isn't supposed to be the end of your exploration. These resources provide you a really good place to start. From there, it's then about taking steps towards finding some in-person work experience, applying for internships, and more. However, what you will do through exploring options on platforms such as this is you're going to shift from that, oh my goodness, I don't know what I want to do kind of feeling, because you would have engaged and started to recognize what sectors are of most interest for you, and then that makes the next steps easier. All right, so let's go through some top resources to help kickstart your early career journey. We are so lucky that these days there are a multitude of platforms which can really support your careers curiosity and careers exploration. You just need to decide that you're going to tap into them. And so don't just sort of watch this video and take no action. What's going to be an absolute game changer for you is you picking 1 or 2 of these platforms for now and really sort of exploring what your next steps of career discovery can look like. So let's start with a platform that people often only think about when they are poised to apply for universities in the UK, and that is UCAS. Now, UCAS in the UCAS hub these days is so much more than the place where you physically put in an application to university. It is a really great source of discovery and exploration, and actually they've even partnered with Springpod, which is the next platform that I will be talking about when it comes to work experience. So if you were to go on over to ucas.com, you would see resources like this, and also like this, and not to mention resources like this as well. Now, if you thought that UCAS was only for physically doing your university application, I hope you have been pleasantly surprised. Between UCAS and the UCAS hub, it is an excellent resource for you. So please do use it, do some exploration, and I would love it if you would comment below and let me know how you get on with that. Another platform which can help you shape your future choices even before you apply is Springpod. Now, I have to admit, I think that I've been talking about Springpod daily for years now. It is an absolutely phenomenal resource, and it is brilliant, kind of regardless of what it is that you might be interested in. There are opportunities normally, and of course do check at the time that you see this video, but in my experience, I've seen opportunities ranging from exploring publishing to working in transport and infrastructure. I have seen resources to do with healthcare. I've seen resources to do with, name it, marketing, research, travel, probably, when it comes to the industry. So it's kind of one of the first places that I recommend you go when you know that you are going to be curious about what work might look like in a range of industries. Now, it's also important not to forget that they allow you to explore university subjects on that platform as well. And I will say that that's not something that I have navigated much personally myself, but I have heard great things. And as I said, I'm a big advocate in the platform as a whole. So if you have not gone to Springpod and you have not yet done any of their virtual work experiences, I would say run, don't walk. Not in a panic, obviously, just with excitement, because it is going to be a really, really fun, hands-on, interactive way to explore more of what you're interested in. And then, again, as I said, beyond that, you can be like, okay, I realize that I have an interest in public relations. Let me start to explore agencies or opportunities where I can get an internship or work experience, dependent on what stage of the education journey you are on. Between the virtual work experience and the subject spotlights, that is a platform which is going to help you build confidence and clarity. The third resource that I am about to share with you has a similar idea, although what I would say is it's probably targeted at slightly older students. So Springpod, and I should have mentioned this, is targeted at sort of year 9s upwards, so kind of from age 13 plus. This platform that I'm now mentioning, the Forage, can really be accessed at any age, but is also really, really useful for university-aged students as well. Now, what you have on the Forage is a range of online, so virtual work experience tasters. Actually, I'd say that the Forage calls them job simulations, and those have been created, again, by organizations themselves. Now, when I first started recommending the Forage, I want to say over 5 years ago, I'm not necessarily the best with timelines, it was really quite finance and professional services based. So you can imagine, with that being the foundation, there were loads of opportunities in those areas. However, they have also expanded a bit to include some law opportunities, some fairly kind of traditional careers, and also with kind of a current twist. So for example, I have seen opportunities on there which relate to sustainability related work at a law firm, for example. So yeah, the Forage is a really great one to look around and see the sorts of opportunities that are available as job simulations. And again, when you really throw yourself into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of activities like this, you can start to really get a sense of what you enjoy and what you don't. So if law, engineering, tech and finance are of interest to you, then the Forage is definitely a great place to check out. And actually, in a future video, I would really like to break down some of these useful resources into potential sectors. So do drop me a comment and let me know if that would be of interest to you. The next resource I would like to share with you is young professionals. Now, Dan Miller and the team over there are great at sending out lots of opportunities. I can tell you, as a head of careers in a school, I get emails from them frequently, and I'm able to share the opportunities with my year 10s, 11s, and 12s, sometimes 13s, for whom their events are most relevant. Young Professionals is actually a UK-based student network which connects students to opportunities when it comes to insight days, apprenticeships, and more. So this is great because it offers practical insight into a range of industries. It actually hosts virtual and in-person employer events. And it's really great for networking and understanding careers from people that are actually doing them. Another employability platform is Pathways CTM. This helps students to connect with events, access mentoring, and more. So again, like most of these platforms that I'm talking about, it is most useful if you just go check it out, see whether you are eligible, whether there are any sort of eligibility criteria, but ultimately, more than anything, what is required by all of these platforms is your curiosity and your commitment to take some active steps to explore what different career areas might be like. Now, those are the platforms that I'm going to mention with a little bit more detail in this video, but I'd like to shout out other platforms like Uptree, Speakers for Schools, and Unifrog is a great one, but that is one that you will be able to access if your school has a subscription. However, if your school doesn't, please don't be too downhearted. You can see that there are loads of other platforms for you to explore. If your school does have it, however, please do explore it. It's another excellent platform. I often say that your career inspiration isn't going to come as a bolt from the blue. I know for me, when I was younger and thought that journalism was going to be my career, and actually, I mean, I did a master's in international journalism. I really did think that that would be a direction that I would go in. And for me, I had sort of role models like my dad who worked in broadcasting, and I spent way too much time watching CNN as a child. And Christiane Amanpour, the war correspondent, was such a huge inspiration for me. And so I am pointing this out because I don't want you to think that your career's inspiration is going to come as a bolt from the blue. Either, if you pay attention and you actively reflect, you'll realize that due to people around you, whether that's in person or whether that's online or whatever it might be, you have a sense of what your interests might be, or maybe because you've tuned into what academic subjects you're really interested in, you've started to get a gauge of what sorts of careers might be linked. And again, actually linking the curriculum, linking your academia to careers is so important. So again, if you would like a video on that, please do comment below and let me know. But really, you know, where your inspiration is going to come from is less some magical download and more you taking real action and using platforms like the ones that we have been talking about today. That is what is going to make a massive, massive difference to your early career journey. So please don't just sit there, don't just ignore all of these brilliant platforms at your fingertips. And I will, as I said, keep doing videos which are designed to be useful for you. But if you have any specific questions or want to know more about platforms just like this, let me know and I'll see what I can do to keep supporting you. For now though, take action, and why don't you comment below and let me know which of these platforms you were likely to explore first. Can't wait to hear all about it, and I will catch you on another video soon. Bye. Enjoyed this video? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you come back for another video soon.